Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box with the Technical Trader at techtrader.com. It is Thursday, January 5th, and these are the charts of the day. Well, it was a sloppy day, and the markets were a little choppy. Certain stocks groups went up, and certain backed off. Some semiconductors, financials, and even some biotechs were soft, but some were okay today. And I'm going to see some charts here of some that looked okay, or even better. In front of you, you have a Kiba, which I'm very intrigued by because of the volatility in the stock. Number one, of course, but timing would be perfect, would be important in this one. You can see that the base that's been built for a year now broke out as recently as 2 weeks ago on some positive news with a good volume. And then stock backed off and formed what looks like a kind of a wedge in here. Either looks like that or like that. Either way, the support right now is about the 985.10 zone. Currently trading at 1055, it came down to 1028 and reversed a little bit. It wasn't up much today, but it's still in the process of maybe coiling or consolidating a little bit more. Volume look good, technicals look good. My targets on this one are going to be up around the, let's call it 12 and a quarter, a half area, 13, something like that. And then looking at potentially a move up to the spike high in the 14 range. So let's just say I'm looking for 12 and 14 going forward. And it's 13.24 days to cover. That's pretty big. We may get a squeeze on this one. A stock I've been watching for a while that Cabby pointed out today, Call exploded. This is big volume for the stock. 1 million shares to trade on the stock that's thin. With the base breakout, I retested the 50-day moving average and then an explosive move back up again. You can see that there is some resistance from the March spike high that got up to 873 and today's high was 840. So I'm going to watch to see if that gets taken out, because if it does, we got a possibility of seeing this stock get up to about the 10, 10 and a half area. And then I'm looking for a move towards 12. Looking at the longer term chart on this one, you can see at one point this was much higher, trading in the mid-20s. Always a possibility when the stock turns around. But for starters, let's see what it did. Let's see what it does going forward out of a base like that and a promising pattern with 31, that's right, 31 days to cover. CBAY, a big pop yesterday, and today it had an inside day, so we're going to continue to watch this one because that definitely looks like potentially with huge volume like that on the breakout, if it holds here and moves up, we may see a run at that 335 area, followed by as much as perhaps something around the $5 range. So let's call it 335 and 5 going forward as targets. CETX, boy, it's had a big move, and today reached a new high at 841. That's doubled from where it is just in 2-3 weeks. So I'd have to say, although I'm looking at a longer term pattern that could get this up towards 1112, I would look for some pullback opportunities to get a better re-entry point because it's a bit extended. Clovis making a move. It looks like, you can see that on the pattern here, that the stock looks like it's coming out of the declining top slide right in this range. And I had a nice reversal day yesterday. And another good one today. Both days closing at the upper end of the range. This is actually 3 days in a row where it came down, closing at the upper end 3 days in a row. Looks like it wants to go higher. Volume is a little lower than yesterday. Yesterday the volume was 6.5 million. Today I only traded 2.7, about less than half of that. But if we get this above 46.85, 47, I think the stock's going to be a $53 stock, and it may extend it even up towards 60. Silver had a really good day today. EXK and some others, you'll see the move today. The falling wedge was broken last week. It pulled back off to 50. Today exploded through it. Silver had a big day. A lot of these stocks not only broke out, but had good days and closed up near the upper end of the range. If you look at the declining tops line, it's right there. So if we do get a follow through, we may very well see this get up near $5, my next target. And beyond that, I'm looking for something around closer to 6. Very interesting with good volume today at 4 million. But not only silver, but gold. Look at the GDX broke out. The GDXJ broke out, and all of them closed, not only broke out, but closed at the upper end of the range and looks like it has more to go. Moving down the list of golds, JNUG had a spectacular day, only 77 million shares, the biggest volume ever traded. On a beautiful breakaway gap above the 50, took out the declining channel tops, and lateral resistance as well. If it follows through, we should get at least a test of around 950. But you can see where 12 and 13 zone, up in this 12-15 zone, is a possibility going forward. If this decides it wants to really come on stronger here. Any move that takes it quickly up in that area is very suspect to pullbacks. It's had a big move already. As you know, when We had the multiple waves down. I was at the channel bottom and near lateral price support. I said this is oversold. The 377 is now up to 874. That's more than 120%, 125% straight up. The other stocks in that group that did well today, obviously sister stock Nugget exploded for $1.56, which is almost 18% on 97 million shares. The biggest volume on an up day in its history. It is right near resistance in here. So maybe tomorrow we'll see if it punches through or not. If it does, the next target could be somewhere up around the 11-12 zone. Ultimately, though, if it continues this move, the real resistance is going to be around 15 3/4, 16 up here. Though I would not be surprised to see a pullback on these as early as tomorrow. We may get some follow through early on. Back to my list. Halozyme, biotech stocks, some of them had good days. Halozyme exceptionally. Breakaway gap out of a falling channel with huge volume of 17 million shares. And with 15 days to cover, a lot of that probably was covered today, or at least some of it. I think the stock has legs now. It may very well make it up to the first mid-teens, around 15, and then up at 19. Those are my targets. 15 days to cover. I don't know how much was covered today, but could be interesting. Kopin continues to look great, although with 5 waves up, I'm a seller up here, thinking that the stock may get a pullback. If it doesn't, that extension could be taking this up near, I'd have to say 4.5 is my next target, another 90 cents. We'll see if it pulls back and consolidates first, or does that. LABU popped and closed, it was up a quarter, nothing big. The volume was also quieter, and that's a function of a lot of the biotechs being very mixed today. Some did well, some didn't. But net, the LABU is up against resistance from the prior highs back in mid-December, where it traded about 37.40. Today's high, 37.39 to be exact. So there's resistance right there. And if we get through it, I could see it at 41. MB had a good day. That's a swing trade. I noted yesterday as it broke out of the flag that I was looking for more upside. And right now, my target's about 25.5, 6 going forward at the top of this channel line. And Miami also broke out of a falling wedge today. Didn't close great, and it did back off resistance near the 50-day and lateral price resistance coming in around 20.15, 16. So it did get up to 19.66, backed off about 80, 90 cents. Still, it was a good day, up $1.14 or 6.5%. Need to get a little volume, and I need to get it through the $20 range with some energy. Then a test of the spike high up here from end of November at 24.60, 24.5 would be my target going forward. And ultimately, top of the channel says this could be a $29, $30 stock. Big day for Oryx, following up on yesterday's day. This one was up another 38 cents or 11%. And after hours was firm as well. Trading up as high as $4 after hours. That's going to be the key level since it hit 398, 397 earlier in the day. So keep an eye on this tomorrow morning. If it punches up through 4, it could run 4.25, 4.75 are the immediate targets. That one's got 11.5 days to cover on short side. So new IPO, a recent IPO, Quintana, which is a semiconductor stock. Here's your current pattern look. Here's your daily. You can see it's a new IPO. The pop in the wedge was special. Yesterday it popped out of it. Today it exploded through it. I'm looking for a little bit follow through to get this up towards 24. Shopify exploded out of a long multi-month consolidation range and did it with 5 million shares. That's one of the biggest volumes in the last couple of years. And it breaks it out of a 4th wave consolidation. Here's wave 1 and 2, and here's 3 and 4. The 5th wave could take it as high as 60 or better. Right now I'm looking for at least a move towards 50, 51 short term. Square, swing trade here when it broke out in early December and then ran up to our target and backed off. Nice orderly pullback on low volume, and now for 3 days in a row back up again and broken out again. What I need is for this thing to take out 1482 and make a run up near the 16 range. That's my next target. There's a triple top right up here at 1590 range. If we get through that, we can see more extension. Tahoe, another silver stock, did very well today. I didn't show you that earlier. I wanted to show you that 4.5 million shares traded as it broke out across not only the declining tops line, but lateral resistance and the 50-day. So significant breakout, which could lead or should lead for a test of this range, about, let's call it 12.75, and then maybe 15. And VCRA, following through on yesterday's move, went up another 73 cents or 4%. Looks like it's going to extend, and if it does take out the spike high from the end of October, excuse me, at 20, they were looking at a $23 stock. On let's stand alongside today's Yandex, which also popped and broke out. You can see that recently the declining top line was taken out. It popped to the moving averages. The moving averages crossed over, and the stock consolidated in beautiful coil. Today it popped beautifully at 7% move, $1.44 at 4 million. Good volume. I'm looking for a test of this high from August, the spike high of 23.85 range. Then we're on our way up towards 28 potentially. Keep an eye on that one. There are a few stocks to talk about on the short side. We haven't reviewed them in a while. Ambarella had an update today, but it's up near a declining top line. We'll see if that means is meaningful. I don't like when they break a bear wedge to the upside. So anyway, keep where it backed off of today. Got up to 58.18. The high was 50. Moving average is 58.01, but it closed at 56.34. So that move could be over. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. CRI dropping 317 to 3.5%. After showing you that rising wedge last month, you can see it's pulled back from 95 down to 86. Should it break this line here, there could be a lot more dropping on this one to the mid-70s. Dillard's, in a very weak retail group, is getting whacked here. Today it got right down to support from the Malos and dropping 643 or 10%. If it gets any lower than that, we could see a stock in the 46 range. That's 10 points. Dexcom was up today, but it's one of my shorts, and it is back to a resistance level at the declining tops line. Technicals aren't very impressive, but this is one you need to watch because it's a little stronger than I'd like to see. GII broke down today under the 50, and although it was only down $1.34, that was about $1.30 off the low, so it recovered, but we'll see what it does tomorrow. Downside projection, somewhere between 23 and 24. L brands cracked, at least it appears it might have, dropping 530 or almost 8%, and did it with huge volume. Looks like the stock is in trouble, and you can see that the low in May may get tested around 60. Actually got to 61 today. So if that breaks 60, I'm looking at 53, 55 zone down here. Natural Health Alternatives, NHTC. Well, it's in an ugly pattern. This is a kind of a bear flag. If it should roll over here, look for a retest of the January lows. They're coming around 16. That's a long way from 24, folks. First test would be a spike low of October at 20.5 and then 16. Signet Jewelers got whacked for 766 today and broke this rising pattern. I'm a little surprised how well it did recently, but until today, that's a broken stock, it appears. And Urban Outfitters, another retailer just getting whacked. You can see how we spotted this when it broke down and snapped back. It fell at the moving averages and then started to roll over. When it broke the 32 range, it was headed down towards what, in my opinion, is 24. That's my next target, around 24, 25. So there's some long and shorts, and that's it for this evening. I will talk to you guys tomorrow in the trading room. Good night.